We're live. So welcome to HostingTalk Online. This is the online matchmaking summit for 2022. My name is Richard Simon. I'm the moderator for this talk. My only claim to fame really is my YouTube channel at the moment. So do check that out at some point, and I'll be available online if anybody else wants to have a chat as well. So this session is all about creating a customer-centric IT enterprise. So in terms of the introductions, I'll let the panel introduce themselves. Sabari, if I can ask you to start first, please.
Certainly. Great to be here, Richard. Thanks for the intro. For the benefit of everyone, I'm Sabari. I'm a Chief Strategy Officer with Wire19. We are a media house, and we are a part of ZNet Technologies, a cloud distributor, offering cloud services to customers across the globe. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thank you. Tim, please.
Hi, Richard. Thank you. Yeah, so my name's Tim Dunton. I'm Operations Director of Nimbus Hosting. I've been in this industry sort of 15, 20 years now. Nimbus Hosting focuses on the digital agency market, predominantly in the UK, predominantly WordPress. We've got our own hosting platform rather than using control panels like sort of Plesk and cPanel.
Excellent. Thank you. Burkay, please.
Hello, my name is Burkay. I'm founder of CloudTalk, which is the biggest cloud event of Eurasia. At the same time, HostingTalk Global, which is a hosting event. For 10 years, I'm in hosting and cloud industry. I work for many local and international companies for marketing sites. At the same time, we have a marketing agency, and we are giving marketing consultancy for the IT companies.
Lovely, excellent. Well, I appreciate everybody doing their intros. So yeah, if anybody has any questions from the audience, please put them in the Q&A tab in the streaming platform, and we will try and answer those towards the end of the session. So there's a specific Q&A tab for questions, and we'll try and respond to those. We'll get the panel to respond to those at the end. Right, so let's dive in, guys, because we've only got a limited time. Lots of interesting questions to go through. So first one is, just kind of wanted to really understand, how would you all kind of define customer-centric IT enterprise? What's kind of the definition behind that? Sabari first, please. Sabari, you're on mute, sorry.
Sorry, thank you. Right. So customer-centric businesses, they typically work with the mindset of customer being first, right? They prioritize customers and their success over their typical business goals, right? And in the longer term, customer-centric businesses generate better profits as they have more satisfied customers. Right? They focus on creating better experience for the customers by orienting all their business strategies, the ideas, and the processes to better the customer life cycle. So that's where I see any organization which has a mindset of customer being first is what I would define as a customer-centric enterprise.
Excellent. Thank you. Tim, please.
So my view, I think those comments are dead right. But in terms of practical terms, I think it's really about focusing on the sort of convenience and automation for clients. So obviously knowing your niche market is pretty key, but then giving them the tools and facilities to allow them to get on and do things themselves, reducing their requirement to contact support, tasks that normally can be quite lengthy, reducing it down to make the whole user experience much easier.
Okay, Burkay, please.
Yeah, first of all, for an IT companies, we are selling IT services. So, we are taking the payment in advance, and we are giving promise to customers who is going to take these services from us. So first of all, we need to be aware that this is so important because they are paying in advance. This is not a kind of FMCG product, we are paying our debt later. So to customer first of all, IT companies, which is trying to create a customer-centric strategy, they need to know this is all about their demands. So when you promise, and they are going to demand from you, so whatever you promise to your customers, you need to fulfill your responsibility. It could be about SLA, it could be about fast services, it could be about support, whatever you promise. If you fulfill your responsibility, that means you are a customer-centric company. And also, of course, the customer-centric company is the company who's listening to their customers, from their managers to C-level, from their specialists to everyone else. The company needs to have a culture to listen to their customers regularly, and they need to get some feedback from them. And according to this feedback, they need to create a product strategy, pricing strategy, and of course, different kind of marketing strategies for their customers.
Sure, excellent. Okay, so Sabari, what kind of support do you offer to your clients? I mean, in terms of them to kind of grow their business.
Certainly, right. We provide, for example, go-to-market assistance to help our customers and partners, for example, target the right audience, build value for their offerings, and also the way to better monetize the services what they are offering, right? We have got experienced certified sort of experts who remain available 24/7 on various different connection options, which is chat and phone and various other things as well, right? And also our solutions help our partners unlock new business opportunities, find potential customers, and also experience, for example, borderless growth, because the world is so flat nowadays in the sense that customers are also wanting to expand elsewhere. And also our partners get a globally renowned automation platform, which I think Tim mentioned it earlier as well. Automation is very key nowadays. Customers want to be able to have that self-service option, to be able to provision services by themselves, to be able to build them by themselves, and also to be able to contact the service provider in a much more seamless way, right? So we offer an automation platform which helps that as well. And also we help our partners to bundle their products as well, because nowadays standalone offerings may not necessarily add that value that much. So typically creating that attractive bundle, being in a soft bundle or hard bundle, and helping them to upsell and cross-sell definitely increases the order value for our customers. So our higher margin offerings, for example, we offer managed services, right? So that helps to white label the services for the customer, which they can resell to their customers as well, right? So these are the typical things what we try to do with our customers to help in their business growth.
Indeed. Okay, and Tim?
Yeah, I think very similar to that. Essentially, we really try and focus on the automation side, making it easy. But I think most importantly, our customers are very non-technical. So we try and take the technology out of it. No one really cares really about uptime or what is the service specs are more. That's like all those things are a given these days. So it's really about making sure the software is as seamless as possible these days to make that process easy. So as customers can sign up, they can spin up a website, and any of that process is simple. But then also we analyze our support processes a lot easier. So obviously we do the basic ticket, email, phone support, but then also look at what of these issues can we resolve within our product or within our experience. So not only reducing our support costs, but most importantly, making it simpler for the customer. So they don't have to raise these tickets in the first place. I think that's what's really important for us.
Fantastic, and I think that's great. You guys take away some of that pain, from the customers, and really let them, I guess, sort of really focus on their business and kind of consume, these services from you guys. And you kind of take care of everything in the background. Burkay, what's kind of your take on that, please? So, Burkay, you're on mute.
Yeah, actually, for my agency, we are working with many different kind of hosting and cloud companies, and we are working with them for the marketing side. But the best, my marketing promise is always support. So there are so many different ways to give a support to your customer. But in the IT industry, the most important thing, actually, you need to educate your customer with the content and services you offer them. So because after you sell your services to your customers, you need to activate them. Otherwise, if you don't activate them, for example, if you sell hosting product, or you sell SSL services, or you sell website builder, you need to activate your customers if you want good retention rates in the next years, if you want their loyalty. So I believe that educating the customer is so important, especially with the content and other kind of creation in the company as a culture. So the first support, I think, is the educating customer. Second thing is that standard things like every hosting company's IT providers speak. You need to be 7/24 available for the customers because their business is online. They never shut down their shop, and since they're always online, they are looking for a instant support via chats, email, etc. So whatever you promise as a channel of market support, you have to fulfill your responsibility. And unfortunately, there are so many companies who is giving promise to their customer for 7/24 support, We see that most of them is not actively doing this. So this makes customers upset when the time comes for them to take a support. And the other support is, of course, if you are offering a good product which is working in a sustainable infrastructure, this is the best support you can give to your customer. Actually, if your customer doesn't come to you for a support, it means that you are giving the best support to your customers. You need to create an environment for them which is working, regularly, sustainability and fast. So you will not need to give any support. The best support is the best product strategy, which is working 7/24, I think.
Excellent. Yeah, I certainly agree with that. Okay, so I don't think any panel discussion can be done these days without mentioning the pandemic. So let's not be any different from everyone else and kind of go to that as well. So the question I had around that was, how has the pandemic kind of changed customer expectations for both kind of online services and for remote access? What's been your experience of that, Sabari? Sabari, you're on mute again, I'm afraid.
Sorry, thank you.
Sorry.
One of the very interesting statistics which I recently found out was that, as a result of the COVID pandemic, from February till June, where it was at its peak, right, the APAC region saw the most increase in daily VPN and RDP authentications for remote technologies. So, for example, with about 68% increase as such. And obviously, other regions also experienced that significant surge. Right? And also, from a cloud distribution perspective, we have also seen a huge upsurge in terms of sales of, for example, Google Workspace or Microsoft Teams kind of offerings, which helps with collaboration options as well. And also, for example, our customers have been online for working, for shopping, for chit-chatting, and for everything else, right? Due to lockdown and due to health concerns, they were not venturing out. And also, for example, virtual shopping malls have sprung up as well, because people were not physically able to go out and do physically shopping. So virtual shopping malls started coming up, right? And the customers of this era, they want speed and convenience, right? Their expectations are more around personalization, right? And this is about how can service providers offer that kind of personalized experience for the customers, right? And also, businesses are looking outside the standard sphere of customer service and starting to differentiate themselves, for example, through hybrid technology setups as well, right? And of late, augmented reality and virtual reality are also completely transforming the face of how customer services is being offered as well. For example, if you want to go to a clothing store, now you can take a picture of yourself, an image recognition algorithm immediately looks at the various different options which suit you best, etc. So customers are starting to try all of those options much more vigorously than they used to be. There's no doubt the modern customer has choice and has very high expectations. And to meet that, businesses have to invest in the right technology to keep them one step ahead.
Excellent. Tim, what's your take on that?
So the pandemic's been interesting for us. So at the start, sort of roughly almost 2 years ago, we saw a bit of a consolidation from our clients' point of view. Then it kind of moved into the complete opposite, a sort of panic buying. People deciding, right, I need to be online. I need to start shifting my business from my existing offline brick retail business online. So we saw a lot of that. That then took us through for about sort of 9 months or so, and then there's a little bit of a slow period where people got used to it, and then things have kind of got back to normal in terms of patterns. And I think what's happened here in the UK, there seems to be the pandemic and potentially Brexit has caused a bit of a skills gap. So we've noticed a lot of our clients can't necessarily afford the more technical, competent people they could before. So that's put more reliance on us to help them. And also it's allowed us to implement more tools, certainly from remote access tools, tools that usually be quite complicated, trying to simplify them, and allowed our customers to grow that way by resolving those problems as best we can.
Excellent. Thank you, Tim. Burkay, what's your take on that? You may have lost Burkay. Are you there? Oh, I think we've lost him. Okay, we'll leave him to come back in. Okay, so yeah, if anybody's kind of joining us halfway through to the session, if you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A tab. There's a specific Q&A tab, so by all means do that and ask the panel anything that you like, or just general questions you may have, generally speaking, in terms of the expertise that the panel has as well. Okay, so let's move on to, just conscious of time, move on to the next question. So Sabari, what kind of sort of strategies should businesses really develop to achieve, you know, say optimal sort of customer satisfaction? What kind of strategies would you recommend?
Sure. I mean, let me check. I'm not muted. Yes. Yeah. So most important is to listen to the customers, understand them. What are the typical challenges and the pain points? Be proactive. Deliver what you commit. Right? Because at the end of the day, you know, you have to commit to something and deliver what was committed as well. Right? And as per a recent survey by a renowned organization, over 75% of customers say that they will spend more money to buy services from a company that treats them well. Okay? And from a few points to achieve customer satisfaction, which in my personal opinion is, for example, provide different channels for customer support. For example, live chat, chatbots, emails, SMS, social media, tickets, and various other mechanisms to get in touch with the customer and give them the easiest, quickest way possible to be able to connect with them. Right? And then I think Tim alluded to the point about try and enable self-service and automation as much as possible, because in this day and age, customers really want that flexibility to be able to go and click of a button, purchase services without having to wait and talk to someone, etc. And also, if they face any issues, for example, develop knowledge-based self-help centers with which the customers are able to resolve issues by themselves. For example, create that ecosystem of the community with which they are able to find solutions to issues proactive, by themselves. And also, personalization, again, I reiterate, is the hallmark of customer satisfaction. All of us, each one of us, expect that kind of personalization when we make purchases. We buy from these various online shopping marketplaces, and we typically expect them to remind us about what were our preferences and make that recommendations based on whatever we have purchased in the past. Right? And last but not the least is that all the customers, because they're wanting personalization, a lot of data is collected by these organizations to be able to understand spending patterns and various other things. But today's customers, they typically want assurance and that peace of mind that their data is secure. Right? So organizations need to invest on ensuring that they provide or use the right technology to be able to protect customers' data from cyber attacks, and lack of trust means the customer will go. So focus on such things, which certainly will help you to retain your customers and help them to grow.
Excellent. I certainly agree with that. And Tim, would you kind of say the same as well? What's kind of your experience around, sort of how businesses develop to achieve that sort of, optimal customer satisfaction?
Yeah, I would agree with all of that. I think security and data security is going to be one of those things like uptime. It's just going to be a given. It's got to be a requirement of a hosting company. You don't even need to mention it, I guess, on the website. Like hosting companies 10 years ago used to talk about all the benefits of the data center. That again is just a given. So it's going to be the same thing, I think, for security, and then potentially support channels as well. I think also we're trying to experiment with new channels. We did live chat several years ago. We've been experimenting with bots to try and speed up that process, and even just some of the basic things you can try and tick off. I would say we're doing more video as well. I think as people working from home, they're more open to watching video online, whether it's in their own environment. But then also we want to experiment with other things, potentially like WhatsApp as well. I've been using that to support with other companies. And it's actually really, really simple. And it's a lot easier, I think, because you can come back to it later rather than a live chat that just sits there. You can go and use WhatsApp wherever you like. You can continue that conversation. So just experimenting with these technologies and see what works, and what works for the customer, but also works for the business. Amazon's particular customer service model is they've really nailed that. What can we learn, and what can other businesses learn from that?
Excellent. Yeah, and I think that's kind of also probably those more modern ways of kind of connecting with the customers, probably a great deal more appealing to kind of the younger generations as well, I suppose, and that's kind of helps to sort of keep that going. Burkay, what's kind of what's your take on that? We were actually just asking about the before you came online or back online, the kind of strategies that businesses should adopt to kind of achieve customer satisfaction.
Yeah, first of all, sorry, I still have some health problem and suddenly coughing. I recently recovered from COVID, but still feeling some problem on my body. I hope I will recover. Yeah, actually, the most important thing for customer-centric strategy is the sustainability, I think, because these days we need to be online more than ever. And because we are home, we are using internet more than before. And since all we working from home and we are using remote systems, online systems so much, the most important thing for the custom companies who is service giving IT services, they need to think about sustainability. So of course they need to make some investment on this, and especially the customers who is using this kind of services is easily giving up from the services if they are not happy with, because they need to be online, they are working from home. Some companies strictly following their workers, whether they're online or not, or they need to send email anytime. So this is the first thing, I think. The second thing is as a strategy, it should be so simple and fast, I think. Yeah, whatever you are offering as a services, it should be simply used and you need to make it fast. Of course, if you want to make it simple, you need to think about some UX and the other things as well. Yeah, we also talk about the support's importance. If you want to create a customer-centric company, you need to get a feedback from your customers, and you need to set up a regular system about this.
Excellent. Okay, so yeah, just a quick reminder again to anybody joining us late on this talk. If you have any questions, please put them in the panel tabs. There's a specific panel tab for any questions. By all means, do that, and we just encourage you to interact with the panel. We'll try and answer those questions for you towards the end. So by all means, do that. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. So how do you guys kind of see the evolution of customer demands and expectations, specifically kind of, I guess, in the sort of the hosting industry? So Barry, what's your take on sort of customer demand and how that's kind of evolving?
Yeah, I think what we have seen is that the customers are demanding a great user experience in terms of being able to purchase services, being able to use the services, and being able to manage the services as well. So as a result of these kind of demands, these hosting companies are now being forced to relook the user experience, the UI, the GUI, whatever they are offering the customers, to understand with the minimal clicks how they are able to get that experience to that customer to be able to navigate easily and be able to consume the services as well, right? And customers also, they want a safe and a clutter-free experience because they don't want unnecessary stuff popping up left, right, and center. And also from a hosting experience perspective, I mean, gone are the days when everything used to be defined more at the technology level. Now everything is more defined at the user level or at the consumer level. For example, we start sharing plans with respect to how many photos and images you can store, how many videos you can store, and things like that. So things are moved away from pitching on 500 GBs versus 5,000 songs, right? So things have moved on to that level because people want, and because we are expecting common people, normal people, to be able to use technology, to be able to build their own website, to be able to manage their domain, update their DNSs and all of that. So demystifying technology and making them very easy to use is a big challenge for the organizations whose service products are now embarking on. And the other aspect is, I think, security and automation. We briefly touched upon that earlier as well. The customers, they want to be able to manage their websites or their databases by themselves without relying on expert help from anybody else. That's also one thing. And all of this at the click of a button, right? So that's what typically customers want, and hosting companies are now working towards. I'm sure a lot of them already done it, but they're working towards that requirement.
Excellent. Tim, what's your kind of take on customers? Yeah, so just asking you, Tim, in terms of the kind of your customers, sort of expectation from from IT providers.
Yeah, I think dead right. It's really about making things simple and straightforward. But I think these days it's really a lot about platforms. Like maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, Magento used to be very, very popular. We had lots and lots of customers demanding this, but actually they shot themselves in the foot, mainly over their security plugins because they were so difficult to install. And then it just didn't become useful for customers. They just couldn't use this product. It was just too difficult. And that was perfect for platforms like Shopify because they could provide a solution that could take care of all the technical aspects that all the customers need to worry about, what their products look like, or even shipping the products out. That was their key thing to their key focus. And so I think it's going to be more and more of that, really. WordPress is clearly very, very popular. 40%, is it 45% of websites are on WordPress? Is that going to continue? Is that going to grow? Something's got to replace it at some point. So I think it's going to be interesting to see the constant evolution of platforms. Potentially Wix, Squarespace, they're going to probably look to dominate this market and take over from WordPress at some point.
Excellent. Okay, Burkay, what's your take on sort of customers' sort of evolution and demands of the sort of and expectations, really, I guess, from hosting providers?
Yeah, it is accept that hosting industry is changing and evaluating something different now. We already talked about that hosting companies needs to put a good services more than ever because now they're also competing with cloud providers as well because there are so many hyperscalers who is doing semi-hosting business, because some of those companies selling server, VPS, different kind of IT-based services, which is already sold by the other cloud providers. So they need to be ready for the competition with the hyperscalers. And the thing is that they need to know that, sometimes the collaboration with these hyperscalers could be good for their benefits. There are so many industry leading companies. I don't want to mention about their name. They are now putting their own infrastructure to the cloud with the hyperscalers, and they try to have good collaboration with the giants. And the second thing is, of course, the customer demand in the hosting market is changing. So not just the technical person in the markets just using those hosting services. There are so many hosting users which is never know about what is hosting is. Maybe when they go to internet, they are not searching this as a hosting. Maybe they just say creating a website or something. So actually, for one of our customers, we give us services. We call them as our aspirers. They don't know what is hosting. They don't know what is PHP. So they don't want to take care of technical things. They want to be online as soon as possible. So as Sabarin said, the automation is so important in this case because when they buy the services, they need to activate this as soon as possible. So I need to show them how to activate the services if you want to make them renew and returns, and if you don't want to big churn rates. Yeah, these are the things actually these days so important. We need to know that they are not just technical background people. They want simplicity, and they want to be online. They want to take a support as soon as possible about the services they use.
Excellent. Okay, so just one final bonus question, and just one of the panelists, and anybody can jump in on this one. What's kind of been the differences that you've seen in terms of the services being provided where customers were in the data center, and now they're kind of more looking to cloud services? Anybody can come in. Sorry, can I? Yeah, Sabarin.
Go on.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sabarin, please.
Cool. Yeah, let me have a stab at that question. Yeah, so cloud has its own benefits in terms of the agility, the scalability, and also the ability to be able to pay based on on a pay-as-you-go model, etc. Right? And also the customers also have flexibility of being able to choose from various different cloud options available. So what that has given is that.
Sorry, guys, last 1 minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's wrap it up quickly. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So service providers are now able to introduce new services, new features, new abilities much more faster than ever, and also the ability to scale also has given a competitive advantage for the service providers as well.
Brilliant. Excellent. Appreciate that and very succinct. So that's all the questions. Thanks everybody on the panel, Sabari, Tim, Burkay. I don't think we have any questions, but I'm sure the guys will be on the panel. So please do catch up with them on the streaming platform as well. Stay with us. We have lots more coming in this summit as well. So please don't go away. I'm Richard Simon. It's been really my pleasure to moderate this session. It's been very interesting. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.